Like, my game is to, to run, make a lot of balls. I mean, I can be aggressive, but that's not like a huge part of my game. So just to out-rally her, basically. And she stepped it up, and she earned it, especially there at the very end. So, yeah.
Well, great job. I mean, it was still a great match for us to watch, a lot of fun, and we'll be seeing you again in the mixed doubles.
All right, thanks.
$57.55 here. It's a continuation of the total score at the end of the day, as we have Trent Bride here and Nate Pasha starting into the men's singles match.
Looking forward to seeing this matchup here. Guys coming out, guns blazing. They had that elusive mini tennis point as you were talking to Robin. Probably the most important point in the match. Exciting.
Yeah, big forehand by Trent there. It always becomes a question of, a lot of people have better forehands than backhands, but a lot of times those players are looking to run around their backhand. So how much do you play into their forehand because they're not ready for it? But then you can pay the price there. And Trent building up here, lead 59-57. Though 2 points is not much of a lead in this format.
Exactly. I think we're going to get some shortened points, maybe shorter than the ladies right now. Some big kick serves. A lot of action at the body serves, handcuff, and a lot of quick action, maybe 1 to 3 shot rally. That's what I'm anticipating so far in this Bolt 1. Close call there. Could have been in, could have been out. One of those that maybe just edged the line.
And one of the things that we're going to see from Nate here, so Nate loves to play from the left side of the court. Loves to run around his backhand to set up his forehand inside in and inside out. So we're going to see how effective he is with that. Trent can pretty much hit a forehand from anywhere in the court. But there he shows massive. His little touch right there. Probably got that degree at UGA.
1-2 punch there, big kick, big drop shot. Playing massive off all wings right now.
Great follow. Watching these two UGA Bulldogs here brings back some painful memories from our very last dual match together. Do you remember it?
Oh, JY. I sure do. We sure do. Our head coach, our teammates from that year, all sure do. Definitely was going to probably be, at least for me, probably would have been my best college tennis memory if it would happen. More than winning All-American. How we had the Bulldogs on the ropes in the round of 32 in Athens. They were hosting NCAAs. I believe we had a 3-1 lead on them, and it just kind of slipped. Is this the match you're talking about?
That's the one. We had a senior and a freshman left on the court, 65-60 here for Atlanta. Senior and a freshman. We were up 3-2 Florida State over UGA, and we lost. And unfortunately, I was that senior, that number one. I'd never gone up against a crowd like that at UGA. And I folded in the third. So we'll see what we get here with these guys. Powerful emotions, big shots. These Bulldogs here. Glad they're not wearing red today.
Exactly. Definitely probably one of the more exciting yet hostile environments you'll ever play in college tennis if you are on their schedule and if you play in their home stadium. Never easy, but we were on the brink. But now all we have is to talk about the what ifs. But these two Bulldogs here are no secret to their success. That program, they play under the bright lights, they play under the crowds. Not very nervous players. When it comes to moments like this, they come out of the gate swinging.
Yeah, Nate playing very aggressive here, likes to come forward, likes to shorten up points. Playing very aggressive, sometimes overly aggressive, but he likes to be up there. 67-63. There he is, returning and coming to the net. Aggressive play. But Trent, he's so good with that left hand. You two-handers, I was so jealous of everybody that could do that stuff. Great one, but Trent giving away a lot of points right now on the serve.
I mean, that play from Pasha, returning and coming in, pushing Trent to the corner bag, was not a bad play. For everyone watching at home and thinking that was a bad play, Pasha actually came in on a strong shot, and Trent just, as you mentioned, had a good flick with the left hand on that back and wing with a good pass. So we'll just have to see. Pasha, he looks like he's loving to return inside the court to take time away from Trent. We'll have to monitor how successful he's being when he's approaching the net, and when he's not, he may have to adjust that, but we shall see.
George Copeland stepping in here for Trent Bride. You know, I think it wasn't a bad play, but with the modern technology, the strings, how strong players are hitting open stances, you know, slower courts than what they used to have 20 years ago. You have to just be so good at that shot. You know, you can't just kind of bluff your way in. So, not a bad play, but the thing is, God, he's just so good.
Yeah, you mentioned these guys. There's so many good athletes nowadays. Not that we're old, JY, but even from the time we were playing, and when you just take a notice or watch the players that are around nowadays, whether it's college or juniors, everybody moves at an elite speed. They cover the court more than ever, and the technology with the strings and the rackets, they're playing strongly off both sides. So, as you mentioned, maybe that play was good from Pasha, but could be not good enough sometimes in today's age of the game.
And maybe we can see why Nate wants to play so aggressive and get to the net as quickly as possible. He's lost pretty much all the points. He's had to go from corner to corner of the court. So movement a little bit limited right now. George had a great morning with the individual matches. Is now 73-67 for Team Atlanta. And we saw this morning, Vahid, that when George is playing with a lead, he actually serves bigger and better.
Yeah. We talked about him earlier, as you said. I mean, he's locked in. He mentioned that he could have some potential two corners with some aces, or even if he's going strongly off his ground strokes. I think that is 3 serves in a row, 3 service winners. I do remember him in his in our college days when he played at Mississippi State at the tail end of my college career. And the first thing I did say when I saw it was like, wow, this guy plays big. And we are seeing that right now.
Oh, passing shot on the run. 10-point lead.
This man is locked in right now. The Brit is locked in.
He's playing like he's on his contract year. Oh, no. Oh, he's going to serve on the wrong side. And what happened here? What's going on? Nate is they're just all going
What is going on?
George trying to catch him. All right. We got to get a little bit organized here, guys. And there's Nate just slowing it down. All right.
All right, JY, correct me if I'm wrong here. I know we got a lot of rules to cover. With George, when he did that toss, you can't catch it, correct?
Can't catch it. Only one toss. I think that's fair. I mean, he's already a good enough server off one toss. Why should he be able to get 45 of them?
Totally.
I think you might be a little bit biased because you were one of those guys in traditional tennis that tossed it like 75 times.
Yeah, I had to get it right. Just had to get it right, and then I would go for it. And still, that didn't help me.
Well, we are playing indoors here, so it's a little bit easier to get the toss right.
The wind factor.
79-71 for Team Atlanta. Nate's been playing the whole time. Haven't seen any subs here. The only sub has been on the Team Atlanta side. George rolling. He loved that forehand inside in. Absolutely loved it.
Some big boy tennis, just as we expected. I don't think there's anything Pasha can do right now. They're playing on George Copeland terms totally right now. And Pasha is just a spectator. What a lob! This man is pounding his chest.
Again, gosh, I don't think anybody could be happier that that bolt finished more than Team Knoxville right now with the 12-point lead, our biggest lead of the day. So again, is Coach Marcelo?
Where did this all go wrong?
Well, I don't think it's about going wrong. I think it's more about when did George just start playing. Anytime he stepped on the court today, we saw it this morning in the individual matches. Guy's a monster.
Smiling, having a good time. That's when you're playing your best tennis. You're seeing the ball big. Doesn't matter what you're thinking. You're not thinking, actually. You're just hitting and playing. And that's what the big George is doing right now. He's clocking it, whether it's off the serve or the forehand. There's no thought process. We know as tennis players, when we start to overthink or overanalyze, is when things start to shut down, especially the legs. We're not seeing that with George. So he's going to continue to come out with that plan after they get back out there.
You know, I think with looks like Trent's going to be put back in, and I think Coach Marcelo's advice is right there is just serve like George, hit like George, move like George, be George, all right? We'll be good. That's what I would say.
Be like George. Sound advice there. Are we getting a little sub here?
All right, let's see. We're finally going to get Hunter in. Yeah, because the thing is, you put Hunter in down 12, cold, he's going to need a couple points. Is now the time to wait for Nate to just win a couple points and then give Hunter a little bit more of breathing room to try to work his way back in. 83-71, it's still total points at the end of the day. We have the 2 more bolts here in the men's singles match, plus 3 10-minute bolts in the mixed doubles match. So still a lot to play, but still, you don't want that lead to get too big. And here we get started. So Nate is in, Trent is in. Well, let's see.
I don't think that's such a bad 1-2 punch going from Trent to George, George to Trent. They got a nice, nasty, good 1-2 punch going if you're Atlanta going forward through the season.
And I think that's the benefit of subbing when you have a big lead. It's going to take him a serve or two. Trent misses that serve right there. Still an 11-point lead. Nate trying to play the offense right there. Get to the net, but just rushed it a bit too much. Look how close Nate is there to try to get inside of the court. And he does not want a baseline rally with Trent right now.
Yeah, it looks like he's still exploring the same strategy, taking time away. Hasn't really worked too much. Kudos to the opponent. But it was interesting to see they didn't go the sub route there and bring Hunter in just for a change of pace. But I guess they still feel good about Nate's chances to kind of get them back into this vault, this game.
There's the let serve. We play lets here. It went to Nate's benefit. Would have loved to see that in the doubles this afternoon, as anybody can hit that return once it hits the net. Talked about that in the pregame show.
Oh, shot.
And not a good enough approach there, just sitting right there to Trent. Come on, don't disrespect his backhand like that.
That's a couple times we've already watched in this match so far. I don't think
about going chip.
A little slice action to kind of neutralize, change the pace. Well, that was kind of my strategy usually.
Yeah, chip return, keep it low. Because when you try to hit these topspin return to come in, if you don't hit it perfect, it's going to sit up a little bit.
Yeah. Right. I think, so there, you keep sitting out on it. I would change the pace with a little slice. We talked about that in the ladies' match, especially when it wasn't going their way. I think a slice, if you want to come into the net after it, awesome. But even just a slice, just to neutralize the servers right now. I think George and Trent right now are serving really good. We've seen from the guys on Atlanta's side. And I don't think it'll hurt. But, of course, as a player, you got to feel comfortable slicing. I'm sure Nate's very capable of slicing.
You know, and there we saw before that previous point, Nate looked over to the sideline to try to get Hunter in to get the sub in. But again, since we have to play at the server's pace no matter what, they were serving on the ad side of the court, and Hunter wasn't going to get there in time. And so Nate had to stay in for an extra point. It ended up working out, but we got a 13-point lead here for Atlanta, 89-76 here in this second bolt.
Yeah, tough start there. There's the slice you were asking about. We just saw that from Hunter. See if it pays off.
Didn't work out. We see Hunter trying to loosen up his legs there, trying to get warmed up a little bit.
JY, obviously you know Hunter a bit, playing doubles with him and traveling and being at the same tournament. What kind of style of play does Hunter Reese bring to the table?
Well, one thing's for sure is you want to stay away from his backhand. Absolute money backhand. If you go there, you got to go aggressively. I mean, look how well he even defends off of that. I mean, Trent hit a great return. Great backhand. Great volleys. Forehand is the weakness. Sorry, Hunter. Love you, bud, but that's not your best side of the court over there. But sometimes if he gets one backhand, it's hard to find his forehand. And, he's got a good second. He's got a good slice serve there that keeps things low, so it makes it hard for you really to attack his return. So let's see if he can find more backhands. But with a serve as good as Trent's right there, it doesn't matter what's going on there. That is nasty.
Yeah. I imagine Trent has a big support group today. Being a Bulldog standout, was playing against Pasha. I'm sure he's got some family and friends in attendance there in Atlanta today, which is helpful.
I wonder how many Georgia Tech fans are here that watched Trent dominate them. They're also secretly rooting for him to lose. But he is an Atlanta local, so, come on, got to take it all into account. You see Hunter trying to use that chip return there. They're listening to us. They just can't execute it the way we want them
to. Sometimes it's not easy. You say it's always easier in the booth or on the bench. The sidelines is always undefeated, JY. That's us.
Oh, yeah, I'm undefeated. A great play by Trent to serve and volley, knowing that Hunter's chipping returns, just couldn't put away the overhead there.
Scrappy play by Hunter Reese, everyone.
They're going to have to figure something out because this is a 16-point lead here. Ooh, little chip there. Okay. Didn't work. Wow. I think that kind of shows you right there, right? That, most people would just kind of crush that forehand, put it away. Hunter's trying to find a way to be as effective as possible with that forehand. Great aggressive chip coming in.
Well, that's the goal of a slice. If you're hitting it with good juice and you can keep it low, now that opponent, it's going to be a little bit tougher passing you from a lower position. And I think that's what Hunter did there. He made Trent have to pass him off his backhand, which was very strong side, but from a lower part of the ground. So not as easy when it's right in the wheelhouse, right in the strike zone. So kudos to Hunter exploring with the slice.
And the pop off Trent's forehand return in the previous point. Gosh, it hurts my ears. It was so big. 97-80 here. Hunter a little hurt there. You see him kind of wincing there, trying to wiggle his leg there.
Yeah.
Is he hurt? I think the ball was out,
Looks
but
like
I don't think they called
Pasha's back in. Really? Ooh.
Do you think that ball was in?
From my view, it could have caught. Very tough for me to make that call. I could have went either way.
I'd love to see a timeout by Knoxville. Kind of slow this thing down.
Yeah.
I can see George over there bouncing his feet. Ready. He's like, come on, put me in, put me in, put me in. And do we got it? Yep. I think Coach gave him the signal before, told him to get ready in the bullpen.
Okay.
This is not what you want. If you're Team Knoxville, you do not want to be down 19 with George coming in. This guy has a lead. He is Peyton Manning. Absolutely ruthless running up the score against you.
Look, I know we talked about how these big leads are not going to be too sufficient. You can come back but with this 1-2 punch that I'm seeing right now with George and Trent, it's nasty. I think this match can get out of the way with a 2-pointer. Has he committed one error in his playing time in this match? I don't think so. I think this match could get away with them. No disrespect to Knoxville. But, hey, while we play the game, hopefully they can get back in this match. But it's one serve after another, one big serve, one drop shot, one massive point after another. I don't know if they can get back into this.
And you can't call a timeout unless you're serving. So there it finally is, but they're going to roll with it. Nate finally gets a point for Team Knoxville, but no timeout. They're going to roll with it. Very Laker-esque there, Phil Jackson, the legendary basketball coach that loved to just let his players play and figure it out instead of always stopping them from their problems.
Unbelievable.
No.
Oh,
I thought he had it. That's the thing, George. Anything George touches, it's a winner.
It's a great volley.
Weight 83 here. George going for it. He knows he's got the lead. He's going to just roll with it. Coach Scott here giving Nate a wristband. It was a little cool in here, but Nate's a big sweater. Okay, all right.
Did that drop or was it out? It was out.
It was out. It's out. Knoxville stopping the bleeding here. Starts 1 point at a time. Is that inside in? All right.
Pasha hanging there on the line, hanging tough. Try to make George play one extra shot. That's really the only thing you can do when you play players like this, JY. You've obviously played a handful of these type of players in college or in your great pro career. When you play players that kind of play how they want to play, they play on their terms, whether that's off the serve or try to go for a shot. What do you try to do in your mindset when you play a player like this? What do you tell yourself?
I think the most important thing is most players can't keep this up for too long. They're always going to give you a little something, and George gives a little something back right there with the drop shot, turns to the crowd, says, "How you like that?" And he gives his team a +2 towards the end of the ball. I mean, Nate was doing better there, trying to hang in. But yeah, look, at some point, these guys, they're going to miss a little bit. Can you be ready and locked? If you get too defeated mentally, then you're not ready for that moment. I think that's the biggest thing. Just, you got to believe. And if you don't get that moment, that's too good. That's fine. You know, what you don't want to do as a player is be defeated before you get that opportunity. That's the worst thing you can do. And I think that's the worst thing Knoxville can do right now. They got to get back, and they got to know, look, they're going to get a run somewhere. Can they then build on it from there and then hope that Team Atlanta then starts to doubt themselves just a little bit?
Truly. That's what I love about this format. I'm looking at the scoreboard right now like we're on TV watching an NBA game. It is a game of runs, as you mentioned. Whether it's an 8-0 run for Atlanta, Knoxville has the chance to make that run. They have their subs to use, of course. They can put together, despite how good George and Trent are playing right now. It is a game of run like all sports are, so there's no reason not to believe that they have something left in them to get back in this match, despite the high caliber of tennis that we're seeing right now from Atlanta's guys.
You know, I can't help but think about it, but just by you mentioning the NBA a little bit, I have to ask, Luka Doncic, good trade or bad trade?
I mean, LeBron gets what LeBron wants. It's amazing that Dallas parted ways with him, a franchise caliber player like that. Honestly, don't even follow NBA as much anymore compared to the other sport, but when I saw that, it was just like a head scratcher. I think they even said Mark Cuban was scratching his head that maybe he didn't have any role in that decision, but there's always things going behind the scenes that we don't hear. Maybe he was troubling man in the locker room. I don't know. You don't know what media does to you out there. You can never believe what they say. But yeah, he's with Lakers now in Hollywood, and we'll see how that goes.
Well, I think somebody who's scratching their head is Coach Scott Patrick here. You know, we started this match and Knoxville was up and rolling a little bit. He was standing, walking around, looking excited, confident. He is there sitting there with his legs crossed over and just being like, all right, now what?
Sometimes that's all you can do.
There's Hunter running around his forehand to hit it back, and you don't see that too often. Trent trying to redirect to his forehand. Hunter trying to play fast, see if he can catch him off guard. He's been doing that all day in the individual matches, trying to get people off guard.
Interesting slice there, but it worked out.
Yeah, I think good slice by Trent. Probably not a great one when you go slice down the line to a forehand. You know, when Hunter did that, because, well, what's somebody more than likely going to do off a backhand slice down the line? They're going to go forehand cross court to your forehand, and it's probably not the setup that Hunter wanted.
Yeah, sometimes pulling the trigger too early on your patterns can backfire on you without even knowing. And I think, as you said, that kind of backfired on Hunter, and Trent was able to capitalize.
That's 112.89. I need a calculator. I can't even determine how big this lead is right now. George, I can see him bouncing over there. He wants in on this action. He wants to play. Trent's rolling, doing a great job. And look at Marcelo there. He's like, I want my team.
Marcel, total players coach, great energy, as we said. He's looking like a genius right now. He has this 1-2 punch. He's subbing them in and out, keeping him fresh. Of course, everything's a little bit easier when you're the front runner. All his use of subs makes him look like a genius right now. Meanwhile, in Knoxville, I saw Pasha play a lot early on before they gave Hunter the shot in the lineup. You know, we can look at that as their lead. The deficit continues to widen here. You're going to have to find a way to claw back.
Very interesting to see the two different team dynamics right now. Team Atlanta very together, standing up, chests up. They look happy, confident, energetic, interacting with each other. The Knoxville team sitting down, they're a lot more quiet, they're a little bit more spread out. You can really feel how they feel about what's going on right now.
Yeah, definitely looking, searching for answers. You see Pasha there with Coach. How can they possibly get into this match? That's certainly not going to do it. Big shot inside the baseline, causing the unforced error off the forehand side.
I think what's going to be really interesting is, I know that this lead looks like a lot, but going into the mixed doubles, so many opportunities for +2s with players poaching and moving a lot at the net, so you can really catch up a lot. We'll see if Knoxville can keep it close together here. Nate's helping his team out right there as he subs in for Hunter.
This is what's so wild and intense about this league. We took a moment to commentate. We looked to the left, and next thing you know, Pasha's back in as a sub. This is what you gotta love, the intensity of this league.
You don't want to waste time, right? I mean, you got a clock here, where in traditional tennis, you have to win a certain amount of points. You have to win in a certain amount of way. Here, it's just total points. When you're down, the clock definitely starts to put pressure on you, so you feel that. And so that can just put a lot of pressure, so you want to play a little bit fast. Then the problem becomes, do you play so fast, you play out of control, too risky, you know, and we'll see if Knoxville can stay steady but fast enough as Nate tries to rush into the net there.
Yeah, tried to put together back-to-back points, charging the net. That one looks like he's a little off balance, never got the leg set before he started to rush the net, but I get the mindset from him, trying to get forward there. That's probably one of those times right there where you say, especially off that big serve by Trent. Why don't we just try to slice to neutralize?
Yep. Yep. Yeah, you know, we saw it in the women's singles match. We saw a definite change in strategy, you know, by Robin Anderson when she got down to try to get things back together. We haven't really seen anything majorly different here on the men's side. You know, it completely makes sense for Team Atlanta to want to continue doing what they're doing, but, you know, Team Knoxville here, let's see if they can find a different way to sneak out some extra points and give themselves a chance in mixed doubles.
Yeah, it's never over. I know the math, we got to get the math here, 121 to 95. But you mentioned it, good point earlier, as we're going to go into the mixed doubles in a bit. A lot of quick points we know happen in doubles. Serve and volley, poaching. I think there's going to be plenty more opportunities for some two-pointers. So if they can, Knoxville can somehow get this, I'm not saying they're going to get this to single digits by the end of both three, but if they get this in the low teens deficit, you never know. They can climb back into this match.
Marcelo wants to win every single point. Big lead here, but that's not going to stop him from coaching. He's thinking long term. He doesn't want to take anything for granted. He sees an opportunity to help his players get better. He is going to take advantage. He is relentless.
Little run here by Knoxville.
Yep. This is important. That let court there. So Nate had a great opportunity.
Oh.
Nate was not ready. George trying to go with the fast-paced play.
Did he miss the serve?
He missed the serve. Smart to try to catch him off guard, just didn't work out. Nate trying to play a little bit fast as well.
That's just not going to do it. We talked about that. Pasha loving to get to the net, respect the effort, but these athletes are just so strong off the wing, especially with that left hand on the backhand. Two easy pickings there for Atlanta.
Marcelo there telling Justine to get ready and warmed up. I think Nate's just forcing the net a little bit too much. I mean, I know you love your volleys, Nate, but I think right now it's just coming at a cost.
You know, it's also stamina, trying to shorten the points, but at what cost? And maybe playing a couple extra shots from the baseline versus getting passed up at the net.
Or use the drop shot. Why don't you approach off the drop shot? You're on offense, you're in the middle of the court, or at least he feels like he's close enough. Use the drop shot, right? And so you approach in a little bit of a different way and make it more of a touch game.
Absolutely.
George trying to go
As
to
we
the
can see
inside
it.
out forehand. Here. 40 left. George slowing down here, using the clock. See Justine warming up back there. Doubles coming up after this.
That's some heavy legs right there from Pasha, and I don't blame him. My legs are getting heavy just watching these guys for this long of time play, putting their bodies on the line in this intense league.
What's the longest match you've ever played?
I for sure, at least I clipped the 3.5 hour mark. I'm sure I touched near a 4 hour mark. I'm sure. Can't recall it, but definitely reached some 3.5 hour marks. Maybe clipped a 4 hour mark once upon a time. What about yourself? JY, do you hear me? Looks like we got 40 seconds left in this bowl.
Tired legs there from Nate.
Definitely some heavy legs there.
Yeah, definitely heavy legs there, Val. All right.
Okay.
138.